Welcome to the ArmaniTalks podcast. I'm your host, ArmaniTalks. In this podcast, I'm helping you level up your 5 soft skills: public speaking, storytelling, social dynamics, emotional intelligence, and creativity. 5 soft skills for you to change your life forever, skyrocket your confidence along the way. In this episode, we're entering the world of public speaking, and I'm going to be answering the question, do you hate your voice? If you're like most people out there, the answer is yes. And I would say back in my days, roughly 15 years ago or so, it was very easy to hide from this issue. Because during that time, when smartphones were first becoming more popularized, the videos within those smartphones could mainly record 8 to 10 second clips. And this was good news for you because you probably weren't recording yourself too much. You were probably recording nature, something in your environment, some sort of party. But as information technology started to get more and more advanced, what started to happen was that more people started to turn the camera around towards themselves. They started to hear for the first time ever how they sound on tape. And that's when they became shocked. Because when you're just speaking out loud and hearing your voice, you sound one way. But when you hear yourself on tape, you are hearing your true self. There is no filter. There is no curvature from your mouth to your ears. It is strictly your voice. And that's when you are mortified. You can't believe you sound so nasally. You can't believe that you sound so boring. You can't believe that you sound so flat, blah, 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 blah. And that's when you make this convicted response. Listen, I'm never going to listen to myself on tape again. This was the first time and this was the last time. Until you realize something. At this stage in your life, you have no choice but to hear your voice again. You may be having to create training videos for your company. You may be very curious about starting your first ever podcast, a YouTube show, something that requires you to keep on listening to your voice to a point where you got to make amends. What do you do now? Throughout my journey, I saw that there were 3 main stages. Number 1, shock and denial. Number 2 is acceptance. And during the acceptance phase, this is when you start to become appreciative of your voice. You want to start to get very, very curious about how the voice works, how it's a system. There's breath, there's vocal cords, there's articulators. There's so many different components that is making your voice possible. Because if you can understand how this tool works, and yes, I did just call the voice a tool, the more that you start to understand and appreciate this musical instrument, but take it even a level further. Find the very shocking stories of people without a voice. Tons of people can't even speak beyond a certain level in terms of their voice because they have a thing called vocal paralysis. Other people cannot speak at all. By seeing the intricacies of the voice and by seeing the dark parts of the voice, you start to build this appreciation, and now you enter stage 2, acceptance. Stage 3 is when you're balancing stage 1 and stage 2. You're starting to create this beautiful dance of liking your voice, but not liking it too much. And what I mean by this is that if you go to some of the best speakers, musicians, talk show hosts, and much more, and you take them to a private room, you're like, yo, Beyonce, come here. Do you really like your voice? The average mind will be like, of course, it's Beyonce. She's of course going to say yes. But the real mind, primed with street smarts, is going to be like, no, Beyonce doesn't even like it too much. Because Beyonce is going to say, listen, Armani, I like my voice. I'm at a good stage right now, but I don't love it yet because if I love it too much, I killed the ambition of experimenting with my voice even more. That's stage 3, when you have accepted your voice, but you don't love it too much, because this is what allows you to experiment with different tonalities, with different bass. You also learn how to bend your words in different ways that you never knew was possible before. All this is 110% possible when you understand that stage 3 is the goal that you are setting for yourself. But it's more than that. It is a philosophy. So the summary of today's video is that hating your voice is 100% normal. That's stage 1 of the first time that you hear yourself on tape. You're in shock. Stage 2 is to accept your voice by understanding the intricacies of how it works and exposing yourself to the dark parts of the world of the people that do not even have a voice. And then eventually we graduate towards stage 3, where we have this beautiful acceptance of the voice. Those are the fundamentals. And then we start to willingly create dissatisfaction in our voice, because we understand that there's so many different portals that we can enter with this beautiful musical instrument that we have been gifted. Understand that your voice is a tool that is meant to serve you. Do not fear it any longer. If you want practical exercises to bring out the most in your voice, be sure to check out The Confident Communicator. This free ebook has 6 practical workouts, voice workouts as I like to call it, to help you become much more confident in the way that you sound. In this free ebook, you're going to be given practical workout strategies to deepen your voice, to better articulate your thoughts into words, and to clarify your thoughts for a longer duration of time. Grab this free ebook in the description box right on below, and thank you for joining the ArmaniTalks podcast.